Hello everyone. Hello, I'm Nicole Glazer. I am doing my presentation on domestic violence and theories. The theories are the crisis theory and the cognitive behavioral theory. Here are some images that I found. I searched the words abused women in Google, and these were just a few that came up. There was thousands upon thousands of images, which is very sad and disturbing. So an estimated 1.3 million women are victims of physical assault by an intimate partner each year. And I think this came out to be about 1 in 4. There was another statistic about 1 in 4 women at some point in their lives are experience domestic violence, some sort of domestic violence. So this quote is from Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in 2003. What is domestic violence? It is the willful intimidation, physical assault, battery, sexual assault, and or other abusive behavior perpetrated by an intimate partner against another. It is an epidemic affecting individuals in every community, regardless of their age, their economic status, race, religion, nationality, or educational background. Crisis theory. How does domestic violence fit into this? So when a person experiences a traumatic event, the crisis, it is usually accompanied by confusion, anxiety, depression, anger, and an impaired social functioning. This quote is from Dr. Thomas from his PowerPoint presentation. When we think about crisis theory, it is when someone's mental health is affected. Interventions are necessary to help that person learn to cope and effectively return to their balanced state of mind, a normalcy, if you will, especially if that person has post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. So I'm sure everyone has heard of PTSD. It's the recurrent and intrusive recollection of events, including images, thoughts, or perceptions. And you know that you can get PTSD from one event or many events occurring over time. So the cognitive behavioral theory, let's talk about this as it concerns the domestic violence. This theory embraces the idea that our thoughts cause feelings and behaviors, not external things like people, situation, and events. This is also a quote by Dr. Thomas and Kathy Lay. So let's talk about the interventions that have the crisis theory and the cognitive behavioral theory in mind. They are crisis intervention for the crisis theory. So if we want to help children who are exposed to domestic abuse, we have to offer our wholehearted support to their mothers. This was, the quote was from Bancroft. It was a book that I picked up that was very interesting read on how to help mothers and children after they've witnessed domestic violence. When it comes to a social worker practicing and trying to help people who have experienced domestic violence, they need to know about the different cultures and be culturally sensitive when they are helping these domestic violence victims. So with crisis intervention, Herman made a model in 1992, and his 3 parts of this were: when someone's experiencing crisis, for their intervention, they need to first establish safety. They need to remember the events and have a stage of mourning, and then they need to get reconnected. So in that book, Bancroft stated, children need us to work on changing their social environment outside their home as well as inside their home. For me, and what I put in my paper is this: we would need to, as social workers, help to connect these families that have dealt with domestic violence with local resources and positive support networks. So in the future, they have people that are able to help them if they're in a domestic violence situation again. All right, on to the cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. Scoot it out a little bit. Okay, let me get everything in there and hold it out this way. All right. So, CBT. The domestic violence victims should receive this in the shelters that they seek out, the battered women or domestic violence shelters. And most of them that do want help, they do find those shelters and can get assistance there. So Johnson and Zlotnick stated that the use of the CBT approach is imperative to help the battered women in their recovery. All right. There was a study that was done, and it was using this HOPE method, which seemed pretty new. It's helping to overcome PTSD through empowerment. When they administered the HOPE with women, the results were that the women displayed significant and clinically meaningful decreases in their PTSD symptoms, depressive symptoms, and loss of personal and social resources. And that was done by Johnson and Zlotnick. So, these are my references. That concludes my PowerPoint. I hope you learned some things about domestic violence, the crisis theory, and the cognitive behavioral theory. Thank you.